so happy to be here. And see, they told me I was going to be getting flowers and carrying Okay, now how should I sit? Tell me, do I need to pose or anything? And I do have the newspaper people coming. You know, I don't want to, I've got my thing. Oh, about me? No. They're going to tell them about me? Oh, I'm so excited about this moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to present to you Lena Hornsby.
What?
Next one, we would like to crown you queen for today.
Can you see it? You're everything that I hoped for, and you're everything that I need. You are so wonderful to me. Can you see it? You're everything that I hope for, and you're everything, yeah. You're everything I know, you're everything to me, yeah. You are so wonderful to me,
Mrs. Hornsby, we now crown you queen for a day.
You are so wonderful to me. You're everything that I hope for, and you're everything that I need. You are so beautiful to me.
Miss Hornsby, happy birthday. Happy queen for the day. It's so beautiful. Appreciate you. Sister Avery, thank you for asking the men of Eagles Ensemble from New Life Christian Center to come and do a special number from you. And that's just a little token from all of us to let you know that you are appreciated and that we do love you and that we appreciate your daughter asking us to play a small role in this momentous occasion for you. And we wish God's best for you and that God will continue to bless and let His face shine upon you. Amen. So we dedicate this song to you. It's called Every Time. This song was written by an a cappella group called Glorify Him back in 1994. And just want you to listen to the words of the song, and I think that it will epitomize the woman that you are. Okay?
Every time I kneel to pray, I open up my heart to my Lord.
Every time I kneel to pray, I open up my heart to my Lord.
Every time I close my eyes, I feel the sweet embrace of my Lord.
Every time I close my eyes, I feel the sweet embrace of my Lord.
I don't know
Why so many things seem to get in the way of seeing my God's glory, but I try every day to see and thank Him for all the things He's given me.
every time I see a child, I see the gentleness of my Lord.
Every time I see a child, I see the gentleness of my Lord.
Every time I watch a storm, I know the awesome power of my Lord.
Every time I watch a storm, I know the awesome power of my Lord.
I don't know
Why so many things seem to get in the way of seeing my God's glory, but I try every day to see and thank Him for all the things He's given me. Every time I see a cross.
Amen. This is a surprise for you also. We're going to do a special rendition of Happy Birthday for our queen for the day. Is that okay? All right. A happy
Birthday to you, a happy birthday to you. May you feel Jesus near every day of the year. A happy birthday to you, a happy birthday to you, and the best you ever.
One more time. Join in and sing.
A happy birthday to you, a happy birthday to you. May you feel Jesus near every day of the year. A happy birthday to you, a happy birthday to you, and the best you ever had.
Happy birthday.
That was the Eagles Ensemble from New Life Christian Center. That's my church. I need my daughter Larissa up here. Larissa. Real quick. Sister Connie. You'll be after the dance.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Bye-bye. They have to leave right away because we have a wedding at our church going on and they've got to get there. But Mom, Mother, surprise. Oh, no, we can say it. Y'all can say surprise. Well, Mom thought she was coming here to crown Dorothy queen for the day. But as you can see, Mother, you're the queen for the day. And Mom, I asked the ensemble to come and sing to you, and Brother Reggie needed to meet you so he could pick the song. I didn't want to pick the song. I asked him after he met you, he would know which song to pick. And I really didn't know which song he was going to sing until today. I told him that the Lord would pick the song. And as I was listening to the words, every time, it was the perfect song because he talked about every time different things come up, I look to the Lord and you show me your glory. And Mom, one of the memories that came to my mind when they were singing that song was the day that I was real sick, laying in Frank's room, and I had gotten really discouraged from being sick all the time. And you told me to lay there and just focus on God and focus my attention on Jesus and to think about all the good things he had done for me and to go from my head all the way to my toe giving him praises. And that's something you've instilled for me. I love the Lord with all my heart, and I do because of my mother. Happy birthday, Mom. Larissa has something to say to you.
I thought she was asleep.
Put the mic to your... Turn this way.
Today is a special day for you because you're here, because you're special to everybody here. And you always call me your queen, but today you're the queen.
This praise dance is dedicated to you, Mom, from Larissa. I asked her what she had to say about you, and she just said, Mom, it's real special. So this is a minister from our church. She's going to do a praise dance to a song called God Made You Special. And she picked the song also, and Larissa said she's special.
Special.
What we did, what the brothers and sisters did as we, and there's some others on the committee, but I'll introduce them at the end. But what we did when we came together to put our minds together to celebrate Mom's 70th birthday, we each decided to pick something from our own walk of life. And so that's how come the people that have come to perform under me are from my church. And this next person is my dearest friend, Connie Barnes from New Life Christian Center. And Mom, the song she's going to sing is called I Turn to You. Now that one I chose. And when I heard that song, I immediately thought about you because I turn to you for everything, And you taught me to turn to the Lord. So not only do I turn to you for everything, but I turn to the Lord for everything, but I turn to the Lord because of you. And every time I turn to you, you turn me to the Lord. And I want to tell you thank you for that.
know that I love you. I know that, Mom, I know that I love you.
Raised me not to lie. And I've been talking with Dorothy saying a lie is a lie is a lie. But I think today God is going to forgive me for all the lies that I've been telling you. Because I don't think anybody pays a bill at 9:30 at night. One of the things that we're going to be doing throughout the program is that we have special gifts, surprise gifts that would like to say something to you. Okay? And the first one, I'm going to give you a clue. It was one Sunday evening, and we're all sitting around having dinner, and Granny and everybody was over. And we were all teenagers, and it was like 4 or 5, and there was a knock on the door, and a guy comes over to see Ava. And then there was another knock on the door, and there was another guy to see Ava. Well, husband, here, be careful now. And to make a long story short, before you knew it, there were 7 guys that came over to see Ava. But there's one of the 7 that has stayed in touch. And I think he was the last one to leave that day. And you also encouraged him and kept in touch to become a dentist. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about.
Hello, my son. And happy birthday. This is my daughter.
You haven't seen him for a long, long time.
And hello, everyone. I'd like to say a special happy birthday to Mother Hornsby. Is the name that I've adopted her as my other mother. So that's all I know her as is Mother Hornsby. Those years ago, which was about 24 years to be exact, when I came to that home, to the Hornsby home, and unfortunately haven't seen her physically daily, but that whole Hornsby family has been in my heart from that day to now. There's a picture, if you've ever visited the Hornsby home, that she has of, you probably wouldn't recognize that picture to myself right now, but it's up on the wall and it's been there since 24 years ago. So I promised Mother Hornsby a picture 24 years. So 24 years later, I'd like to give you another picture to replace that one up on the wall. This time it's myself, my lovely wife, and my lovely daughter, Destiny. She couldn't make it. She had to work today, Mother Hornsby. But again, I thank Ava, Kathy, Cindy, the Hornsby family for inviting me here today. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. I'd like to also add that although I might not, like I said, speak to you every day, and I promise you I am going to keep in touch. It just won't be every day, Mother Hornsby. But I promise I will be around. I know because of God and because of the Hornsby family, Ava might not realize that I do remember, but it was through y'all's prayer that guided me through dental school. And I know that, and I will never forget that. And I'm here now, and I will be here always. I love you.
I'm Kathy, and I'm this lovely lady's oldest child. And I wouldn't be where I am without her as well. I'd like to present some things to you. First of all, I'd like Miss Johnson to stand. No, stand. Bring her back. This is Loretta Washington. Who do you want? Loretta, come up here with me, please. Loretta Washington has been one of the founding members of our theater arts group, Hornsby Entertainment. And I'd like us to applaud for her doing that lovely rendition of Miss Johnson. Because we called her on the spot. And another lady, Arnett Jackson, come on up here. Come on, please. This is another another founding member of the theater arts group. Mom, I brought them up here so that you could thank them because years ago, I studied acting and theater arts. I got my degree in theater arts, and I went off to Hollywood to be famous, as it were. My mother cried the whole time, and these ladies actually talked me into coming back home. So that's why they're standing up here with me, Mom. And we're going to do an impromptu skit and a dance and a song. They don't know about the skit, but they are actually extremely talented. Extremely talented in this area. I'd also like to recognize ladies from the group as well. Ann Brady, pull up your hand, please. And Lorraine Harper. Oh, and Paul Riddle back there too. All of these people have been instrumental, Mom, in me staying here. If you'll give us a few seconds.
While they're talking, I have something to say. You know I can't be quiet. My heart is beating so fast, and I wish you knew how excited I am, how happy I am, and how full I am. So if some little things spill out of my eyes, just count it as tears of joy. And I'm so glad y'all are here. Each one of you. Even Mr. Wallace.
Oh, Mother Hornsby, I'm just having a time with these girls. You know I've got two girls, and they just give me such a time. They're always arguing, and I just come to you for a little advice. What should I do? My oldest and my youngest, but yet they're only a year apart. That was something I did. But I need advice. They should... I see them coming now. Don't let them know I talked to you.
Mama, on you! Mama! Look, she took my boyfriend Tyrone.
Wait a minute, girl.
Wait a minute, Mama. He didn't want no skin when he wanted somebody with some meat, Mama.
Now,
Mama, I don't want to hear the same old thing over and over and over and
now,
over.
Arnett, I need you to stop. Now, Kathy, you don't speak well. Sometimes that's why she talks so fast on you. Come here. You two are sisters.
But you don't understand, Mama.
Okay, I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you.
My heart is...
He was not working. If he wants to talk to your sister, he didn't want to talk to you, and you don't want to talk to him. Now, we're through with that.
Wait a minute, my heart is broken. What am I going to do?
That's why she was crying. My heart is broken. Let your heart break.
Now, Kathy, that's your sister. Arnett, come back. I need the two of you to know that you have blood together. And because, Kathy, because of this, now wait a minute. I have had someone to talk to, and that's fine. You see, it's good for children to get along. They need to know they're sisters, whether they're face to face or back to back. And we have back to back sisters. They back each other. And I am so proud of my daughters. Now, what I want them to do is show their talent, because their talent will bring them through. I know that something wonderful will happen to the two.
Okay, thank you, Arnett and Lori. They didn't know anything about that. We made that up right then and there. We did that to say this, Mom. All throughout my growing up and all of my brothers and sisters, as does happen in life, we have joys, we have sorrow, we have good things, we have bad things. And when the bad things will come along, as they do and as they will, I could go to my mother, tears, brokenhearted. They're right, I was always brokenhearted over something. My mother would automatically, always, first of all, tell me to smile, and she would tell me to look to the hills from whence cometh my strength. And then she would always find a way to cheer me up, or to cheer us up, to cheer my dad up, to cheer our house up. She insisted on having a cheerful household no matter what. And despite whatever was going on, she felt if you at least smiled and kept a cheerful countenance, eventually God would open one door and show you something else. So Mom, I'm going to present to you a dance to a song called Beauty for Ashes, because you always taught us, if we look to the hills and put our trust in Him, that eventually whatever was bad in our lives would suddenly turn to beauty, and we would be able to go on, and something else would come along to replace that which had gone to the ashes, as it were. So this is for you, Mom.
He gives beauty for ashes, strength for fear, gladness for mourning, peace for despair. He gives beauty for ashes, strength for fear, gladness for mourning, peace for despair. When sorrow seems to surround you, when suffering hangs heavy on your head, know that tomorrow will bring wholeness and healing. God knows your need, just believe what you say. He gives beauty for ashes, strength for fear, gladness for mourning, peace for despair. He gives beauty for ashes, strength for fear, gladness for mourning, peace for despair. When what you've done keeps you from moving, when fear wants to make itself at home in your heart, know that forgiveness brings wholeness and healing. God knows your needs, just believe what it says. He gives beauty for ashes, strength for fear, gladness for mourning, peace for despair. He gives beauty for ashes, strength for fear, gladness for mourning, peace for despair. I once was lost, but God is found. Though I was bound, I've been set free. Been made righteous in His sight. I was there this land walking empty. I once was lost, but God has found me. Though I was bound, I've been set free. I've been made righteous in His sight. I just wear His splendor, walk and sing. He gives me beauty for ashes, strength for fear,
part in plays. Arnett Jackson has been part of our family here in San Antonio for quite a while. Arnett's going to give us a song.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to dedicate this song to a lady who chose me as being her daughter. Instead of me choosing to be her daughter, she chose me. And I think it's better when someone sees you and knows you and they choose you to be their daughter. Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? Oh, and why should my heart be lonely? I'm alone for heaven and home. When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is He. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches her. His eye is on this sparrow, and I know He watches over her. Let not your heart be troubled. His tender word I hear, and resting on His goodness, I lose my doubts and fears. Though by the path He leadeth, but one step I may see. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches her. His eye is on this sparrow, and I know He watches her. I sing, we sing, because we're happy. I sing, we sing, because we're free.
her hand. You know, Cindy told on me already. We put him in the program. He's not on the program. We're going to shoot him in right here. But, you know, she told about the day when all the boys came to my house. And Daryl was the one that stood. Well, now I get to tell one of my other sisters. She would always push me when she saw a cute guy. She would always say, "Oh, hey, look, he's cute. Go meet him." And then she couldn't understand why I got all the boyfriends. Because she sent me to meet him. But anyway, one particular guy got her hard. Didn't keep her hard because they're not married to this day, but he knows he should be my brother-in-law. And Mom, I don't know if you remember this, but one night, and you may not know this either, but Kathy was on the phone talking to somebody. She hung up the phone. She was angry, and she took all the dishes and threw them. You remember that night Kathy broke the dishes? Craig, you didn't know Kathy broke the dishes, did you, over you? And you have the nerve to stay up and part of this family. This is a surprise guest mom who's also been part of our family for a long time.
All right. Hello, Mom. Let me get you this. Your honors first. I'd just like to say I'm Craig McNary, and I've been in the family for a long time. Getting a little older now, and my wife didn't put my tux in place, so that's why I'm dressed like this. But I would just like to honor her on her birthday, and I was glad I was able to be here. My parents send their Reverend O.L. McNary and Ms. McNary send their condolences, and my sisters and brothers from California down. And everybody here, please give her the honor. This is her day. Thank you very much. I'm not going to sing or nothing. I can pick it up. You want to throw the plates now? He's right here. Good shot. Mom, we have another surprise guest. You probably already eyed them, but they were supposed to be hidden. But I see all the different surprise guests are out of the audience, but you can't see that far, so that's why y'all out there. You can't see him. But anyway, you know, when we were growing up, Mom and Dad, those of you that know them, they know how to throw a party, right? They were always partying. Well, there was several couples, but this particular couple was always invited to some of the parties. And this particular young man, Mom, if you remember, I had a crush on him. You remember? I don't know if you know that. I think he knew that. But he was like my second dad for a little while. And whenever he'd come over, I always wanted to climb up in his lap. Mr. and Mrs. Stallings is one of the surprise guests, Mom. She hasn't seen him either in a long time. This is Mr. and Mrs. Stallings.
When I first met Lena, we were both Air Force wives, and my husband was assigned to Tennessee State ROTC duty. Frank was his supervisor, and of course, Lena welcomed us into her home. She helped us find a church. She introduced me to Mary Jiggins, you remember, so that I could get my children into Nashville Christian Institute, which was the best kindergarten and daycare center there in Nashville. And it was very hard to get your children in because there was a waiting list. She showed me how to get to Kane Sloan and Harvey's and where the bargain basement was so I could get my house in order and buy curtains and whatever. And we were always welcome in her home, and they did have lovely parties and always the best food. Frank was great with cooking everything, and Lena. And we've just been friends for years and years. And when we moved here to San Antonio, we reunited, and our families again became friends and did things together. At the time that I met Lena, she had 2 daughters, and I had 2 daughters. And of course, they had little Frank Jr., who was a baby. Junior, we called him at that time. So it was always Kathy and Ava and Katie and Gwen. Those were our daughters. And we just had a wonderful time together there at Tennessee State. Her friendship has always been invaluable, and she was the same sweet person then with that beautiful, beautiful smile, always sharing, always caring for other people, and always willing to give whatever she had to others. And I thank you.
I just wanted to say a couple of things. We met Frank and Lena in 1960, the summer of '60, so that's been a few years. And at that time, we thought of her as our go-to girl. Anytime we were down and we needed just someone to talk to or some advice, she was the go-to girl. And we think about how God directs you to get whatever it is that you need. And in that respect, we kind of, how I did anyway, kind of thought of her as being an angel that God sent for me and others down in our detachment because she was our go-to person. Frank was my supervisor, but I think he was more than that. To me, he was like a big brother. And of course, that meant that Lena was my big sister. And I think she was a big sister to my wife and to some other people who were stationed there with us. Yes, we used to have parties. We were always, if we weren't home, we were probably over Frank and Lena, especially on the weekend. It's funny how you can remember some of the silly things, but I always remember that was where I first tasted smoked oysters. And almost every time that we get together, we would have smoked oysters. But there's a little meditation that I used to have on my office wall, and that also always reminded me of Lena. It's some of the lines are, fill my heart with love and help me to give it as freely as you do. And I think this embodies all of Lena because she gives love freely. And let my eyes see beyond the surface to look for the good in everyone. That also characterizes what Lena is all about. And the last part is, if at times you don't live up to all the expectations, she will continue to give you her love. And so she'll always be someone that we think of with love. Lena Hornsby. Thank you.
Mom, would you wait a minute? No, that's not. Your glasses are not clean. I plan to spend the rest of the day apologizing for all the lies that I said to you. But that morning that I got up at 5:45 to go clean my office at the YMCA, I was working on the party. And then when I picked you up that same day, and we had to go by Kinko's because I had a report that was due and our copier was down, we were working on the invitations. And she has fussed all, and she was there the whole time. She never knew. But just, I want you to think about that Sears bag. I've been carrying them for about 2 or 3 weeks. Next, I would like to talk about our next special guest. Ava was in love with Mr. Starlings, but this person, I always thought, ever since I met him, he was gorgeous. And I would always tell you, my uncle was gorgeous. One thing that you have always told us that brothers and sisters should always be in touch. And you and your brother have always, through it all, have been in touch. And that has meant a lot to us to teach us to stay in touch because y'all were apart. He lives in Corpus and you live here, but y'all have always managed to take care of y'all's father through cities and always kept in touch. So I want your next special gift Your next special guest, do you know who it is now? Okay, then I don't need to introduce him. Dave Galloway. Mr. Good Looking. And Lucy. I thought they were supposed to be together, but Lucy's back there, Mama.
How's everybody? I'm from Corpus Christi. My name is Dave Galloway. I got my wife Lucy with me. And Lena's my oldest sister. And she kept me alive when I was a kid. A lot. And we all love her. God bless you. And happy birthday.
Okay, we're going in order, and Frank's at home cooking your ribs. So if he was here, he would say happy birthday to you. So that's me. I'm Cindy. You know, they always joke about everyone else is the favorite, but Dad and Mom used to tell me that I was the favorite only because I stayed in their way. I always stayed in their way. And Mom, you're so very special to me. And I have looked over you. See, to me, you're only 39 years old. Because that's how old I am. And as I think about all the things that you have gone through, raising 7 children, burying 2, and still keep your head going, moving, going from state to state and being away from your family, and you still had joy, then raising us as teenagers, and raising me, because she always said she had 5 children, and then there was Cindy. Burying your husband, burying your mother, burying your mother-in-law, and never once did you give up. Each morning I moved in to help you, and I don't know if I've helped you, but you've helped me more, because every morning you woke up with joy. And I could never understand. And then one Sunday morning, I heard this song, and I just started crying, because I said, oh, that's it. She's been teaching me this all my life. And so someone's here very special to sing this song, because I don't have that talent to sing it. Hold on.
Happy birthday, and you are truly a queen. I'm honored, and it is my pleasure to be here this afternoon because Lena Hornsby is very, very special to me. She is a woman of compassion and kindness and patience. No matter what she's doing or who she's with, every Sunday when I see her, she always stops and tells me to smile. And she always has something complimentary to say to me. So when I thought about what I would say to you today, I had to go to the Lord. And he directed me to the book of Philippians. And I just want to read this scripture because it is you. I'm going to read from Philippians, the 4th chapter, verses 4 through 9. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and petition. With thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely,